Willy P streams.
Don't you know my pump to my kicks, ho? Night City, though. You know I'm at bad, baby. She don't got no customer, though. In the love of clubbing, baby. That's just how it goes, though. I don't need a sofa. Somebody I used to know. Video game half mask. She just want the black flag. I just gotta sweat her. That just be the weather. Skinny lover, baby. She a blondie. That's just new slang for them tightrope mommies. Yeah, that's right. Don't mess it up. That's the move, girl. Don't mess it up. That's my groove, girl. The less I know, the better. Baby girl, I rip high. When I start sleeping on the floor, when I get hot. 10,000 opioids. 10,000 in a row. What, baby, what you want? Money and the chemicals, electric love.
Hey, how you guys doing? Hey, it's Willy P here, and I'm ready for another video for y'all. You guys ready for another jaw dropper, huh? Yeah, no, never mind. All right, maybe I'm doing too much with the soundboard already, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in though, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and get right into this. This is called the sound down. Jeez, I can't even talk right now. The sad downfall of Christopher Drew, which me and Christopher Drew are from the same town. My older cousin Charlie went to school with Christopher Drew. We, my back in the day when my brother was rapping, we did shows for like their label when they owned the Ganesh Theater, and yeah, no, they were usually really good people, man. And like they would always throw like a weed festival here in Joplin before pot was legal, and they like put up these like yellow like barricades, and like I said, weed was illegal, but supposedly the deal was is if you were inside of this like square, they paid money so that if you're inside of this caution square, you could have weed products and not get in trouble. So like people were smoking joints and like had soaps, like weed soaps, and this was like I said, this was back in the day when like pot was like I said, still illegal in um Missouri. But um and I'm pretty sure they're gonna probably like try and, let's be honest, throw dirt on him because they think that he's basically like fell off or that he has a downfall. But honestly, being a fellow like Joplin kid, like man, let haters hate. And if you have a passion for what you're doing, then do it. But you guys also gotta realize that like he already had been through like hellish shit, and then JPD killed his brother, and when that happened, like I really feel like it like threw him over the edge completely, and um he has like a super big fan base, and I'm pretty sure Mexico or like New Mexico, and I'm pretty sure that's where he has property at and like where he'll stay at, and he does shows down there and stuff like that. But I mean, we've been to concerts when he was staying here. Like I said, they did like a huge thing at Landreth Park when we were kids, and we went and seen him live. And our step cousin um, was like family members with the drummer, and they owned my step cousin owned like all the CDs. She rocked with the band super hard, um, and so um, yeah, don't you know it's 5 seconds of summer? So no, I'm just kidding. Um, but no, and honestly, if you guys want me to be honest before we start this, I really think that Christopher Drew should have stuck with the music that he was doing when he first signed to Universal. Instead, he started going out on like all these exploratory like things and doing all this other stuff. when I think he should have stuck to Never Shout Never and like perfecting the sound of Never Shout Never. Instead, I feel like he took it in like a whole different direction and started doing like almost like damn near EDM and stuff. And um so I mean, and like I said, the dude is a good dude. Like I remember going to a festival that he threw at like the Rooster or the Red Rooster or something like that in Carthage, Missouri, or right outside of Carthage. But we went to it, and dude, that was super fun. Like they had like a trailer truck that they brought out, and like they were, and like Christopher Drew was like literally walking around. Like I had talked to him like two or three times that night, and he like had handed out pot to everybody. Like he was handing out like pot. I mean, he was like really super cool, dude. Like literally the most generous person, and like so kind and stuff. And like I think back to like a huge thing is like um there's this road like called like Airport Drive, like in Joplin, Missouri. Well, it's more like Webb, but whatever. But I remember I was a kid and we were driving it, and like this was before the tornado. Like this is like when they had first popped off. Never Shot Never did, and I'm pretty sure he was still hearing stuff. He was literally walking down the road barefooted, just walking aimlessly, just having a good time. So, like I said, and so let's just go ahead and get into this. I just want everyone to know I'll never have anything bad to say about Never Shot Never or Christopher Drew or anybody in the band or anything like that, just because, like, dude, they were the shit, bro. And, like, their music really is, like, so good. If you actually, like, if you
The
actually
triple treat
take the
box,
time,
the only meal that holidays
you
is
actually
hard
take the
as
time
really.
to know their stuff, and like they have this song called Sacrilegious, and dude, that shit is like, I mean, peak awesome. Like, oh, it was so good. Then I just don't know what happened,
Thousands
but
of guys who wanted to be
okay.
him.
All right,
Christopher
all right.
Drew has completely lost it. Looking at pictures of him in modern day versus
And the other thing is that like, dude, literally, like my cousins and stuff grew up with this kid, and like I said, even when I was like in my teenage years and stuff, we had hung out with them a couple of different times with my brother's older friend Droska, and well, that was just one time. But then, like I said, I seen him at that Rooster show, and I'd seen him at the weed festival thing that they threw. But they stopped doing that and the crazier part is that weed's legal now. So if they did something like that, like they wouldn't even need to block it off. It would just be like, and maybe it would go hard, dude.
all the way back during his prime as an artist, you'd think these were two completely different people. Once beloved by thousands of screaming fangirls and thousands
Dude, yeah, he had like this Beatles like thing going on with them.
of guys who wanted to be him, Chris has now completely abandoned his music
Dude, and he made all of his music like in his closet at his mom's and dad's house. That's like this dude was
career
dedicated.
and
He did
spends
some
all
hard
day
shit and got signed by Universal. You guys will
Ghetto
let's watch
posting on
this.
Twitter, keeping
I
fans
have,
worried.
and I want to be very clear about this. I have not watched this yet, so this will be my first take through this. I might probably get a little like what the hell is, but we'll see. Let's see what he
And
says.
now is arguably better known for his fall from grace rather than the music that changed thousands of people's lives. What happened?
In a world that makes you small.
Well, it all started here, at a tennis court. As a child, Chris dreamed of becoming a professional tennis player. But after a series
I didn't know that. That's something new. I bet this dude isn't in Joplin though. And you wouldn't even be able to go back to the original place because we had the Joplin tornado and they lost the whole school where Christopher Drew went to school at.
injury, it was over for that dream. As a result, he picked up his dad's old guitar and fell in love pretty much instantly. Before long, he started playing open mics at only 14 years old, and at 16, he already had a bunch of music projects under his
Dude, that's awesome, dude. I didn't know that it went back that far. Like, I mean, I did, but like I said, like
None
I mean,
of them really stuck
we didn't.
around
Yeah,
until Never Shout Never.
yeah.
You've had phenomenal success.
And I think he should have stuck with what their original sound was. They went so far from the needle.
Online. I mean, they say that you've had over 30,000 plays a day on some of your songs. What has the online market done for your career?
Without online, like, I would be nowhere, because I mean, I've only been doing Never Shout Never for almost a year now, and really that's the only way that I've promoted, like, by myself. To get to, like, the point where I would get a manager and whatnot, like,
Right.
that's all I did.
The timing couldn't be any
Dude, he had the emo thing down, man.
more perfect because he began posting on MySpace during its peak of popularity, and if anything, his music was pretty foundational in establishing the identity of what we know MySpace to be. He blew up basically overnight with just a handful of demos, becoming so
And the world so big, don't feel so small. I'm pretty
popular
sure, I
he
don't
managed
know.
to play on TRL at only 17 years old, and he didn't need
Yeah, dude, and like I'm not gonna lie, being from the same town as him, like everyone around us, like jelly. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, like, cause like think about it like this: all the chicks liked him, all like everybody liked his music, and then it's like you have this whole other aspect of, like he just like completely took off. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, he literally got famous as shit, like quick.
fancy production or a studio. It was straight up just him and his guitar. But before we touch on his downfall, I need you to understand what exactly made him so iconic. It was his
Hey guys, should I literally start doing cover videos playing the guitar? Like I have the total opportunity to do that. I just haven't ever done it because I don't really know if that would be something that you guys would be interested in, you know? If you would be, let me know in the comments.
Songwriting, probably the biggest portion of my life right now. I usually write a song every day.
and he obviously didn't release every single song he wrote.
That's crazy. But I mean, we've been on that same wave before where I mean, literally we made a song a day or we, um, like I said, even doing what I'm doing right now with the reaction content, like we're making a reaction a day. I'm also starting Z House Mafia podcast again. And I'm looking for artists. I'm looking for people who want to, um, I want to really go out with artists in IRL and do some like fun shit like that with them. Like, you know, just go out and have fun. Like, I don't want to do like my old format where like almost. And don't get me wrong, like we could do like the video format like I did with Charlie's TB business, but that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I want to be able to do the IRL thing too, and I'd really like it to be like I said, if you're an artist and you would like me to come out or you would want to go to a certain place and like hang out and talk and do like the interview that way, um just reach out. Just reach out and dude, I will put it together. And not only just that, but I mean, I even had like people who had businesses. And like I said, this is all free. I'm doing this like uh literally just so that I can get like let's build some content in this city instead of everybody trying to be so stingy, make their own thing, which hey, I get it. I've been on that wave too. I'm not knocking nobody, you know, because I mean, you got to protect your shit too, you know, your feelings, the way you're doing stuff. You got to protect you too, you know. And so I just say this to you guys that like this is just a call out that like if you guys want to get on Z House Mafia, I will be doing it. So like I said, reach out and it'll just be me, and I'm also, I mean, I'm going to be looking for a co-host soon too, but um I think that I'm going to do like an alternating thing where I mean, it's really just kind of who's available and wants to go with us to do something cool like that, you know. So let's go ahead and press play though. I'm sorry guys, I kind of went on a
But
tangent.
his
I'm not sorry actually, for real, hit me up.
ability to just pump out this music is absolutely insane.
Dude, and he did a really good job of that.
And it's something he's done throughout his entire career as a musician. And it didn't stop at his cutesy, catchy
Yeah, at that the Red Rooster or something like that. He was supposed to have Daft Punk come out, but they like ended up dipping on it.
relatable songs about girls, long distance relationships.
And we didn't even get to watch Never Shot Never Play. He did a dubstep set. So
Peace and love. He had other side projects too. Most notably Eat Me While I'm Hot, which was his post-hardcore thing. And then he had Gonzo, his EDM project. And if I'm being honest,
that's who I seen him as Gonzo. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I was like a younger teenager, and dude, I had fun, dude. But like I said, it's also EDM. It's not his actual singing. It's not anything like that. It's just like noises and shit that you can find on a computer. Anyone could put together. You know, they've been doing it for a while now. But not trying to knock him. I'm just saying that, like, he fucked up by putting so much on his plate and trying to do so many things at once when he should have stuck with his bread and butter, which was Never Shout Never, and that beautiful sound that he curated in his room, man. Like, that's really where it should have been stuck. But let's start. I'm talking too much. Actually, I'm not talking enough because this is a reaction video.
I think it's ass, but I don't listen to EDM, all right? I don't know if it's ass to everyone or just me, but I digress. I'm just trying to say Chris had his barefoot toe dipped in all sorts of waters. And as a result, it helped him cultivate an audience. He had tween fangirls all around the world.
From Never Shout Never. If this guy don't recognize that, would be wild to me to think that he was doing all the other projects because he wanted to try and, at the time, you had Daft Punk, you had Skrillex, you had what's the mouse guy? Well, you guys get what I'm saying. Basically, at the time, dubstep was like the thing, so he was trying to make it take off too. And that's kind of like what they did in the Ganesh Theater. Like, it was like a weird variety of like local artists who wanted to be like rappers or singers, or I don't even know what you'd call it, but basically basically it would just mess up the whole thing. But hold on, I'm going to actually let me do something. Okay. Yeah, no, I'll be good.
Admiring him, looking up to him, crying and shaking during shows and meet and greets. People treated this man like a god. And what really made the fangirls parasocial were the countless interviews, live shows on YouTube, videos of him interacting with fans, and his...
Yeah, he had like done a super good job of like, he was doing like social media like at the very beginning almost.
Openness with the audience.
With MySpace, with all of it.
He even took this a step further by making...
I'm pretty sure
his tween fangirls think they actually had a chance with him someday.
Got this. Oh, hey, look who it is. It's my best friend.
Oh my gosh. Let's hear some
Don't
words
tell
of
anybody.
wisdom.
Hey, Danny, we're gonna get married someday. We're gonna have lots of kids.
In retrospect, this stuff seems pretty creepy, but at the time, people saw this behavior as just like innocent and wholesome. And if anything, people actually loved him more for it. And while it seems like Chris was unstoppable at the time, we actually see the first domino to his downfall in 2010s. After a huge spike of popularity Never Shout Never had in 2009, it was a no-brainer to invite them to Warped Tour the next year. During this...
Yeah, dude. And I'm pretty sure, I remember watching the interview to this
run
afterwards. I'm pretty sure he wears like cat ears and shit. It's not bad, but
surface, it seemed like the band was having...
It was definitely a part of like he was trying to be like almost like Pierce the Veil or something like that, like, but like in his own style, but like also kind of keep that like emo kid thing, which, hey man, everyone's got their thing, so
a great time, which, yeah, at this point, Never Shout Never became a full band. But in 2011, a documentary drops called No Room for Rock Stars, and one of the few plots of this movie followed around Chris and his band, documenting their first Warped Tour experience. And throughout the documentary, Chris grows more and more tired of the tour. During signings and photo shoots, he was visibly upset. His interviews, you can tell he just wanted it to be.
It's almost like he didn't realize how big he was gonna get. I really don't think he did. He'd been putting out music for as long as he put out music, and nobody had ever listened. But as soon as he put Never Shot Never together and they put out some hot sauce, then dude, that's literally life changing. Especially coming from like such a small town as where we're from, you know, it's hard to get a boost or to get somebody who's big and famous to actually come and mess with you. But if you do it like he did it on his own grounds, he built all these beats, he built all these songs, he built all these lyrics. He knew he just made moves that he knew was gonna work, man. It's
Over
logical.
with, but the cherry on top of this shit cake for him was when he jumped off the top speaker during one of his sets and ended up on crutches the next day. After this happened, he expected to be pardoned from the tour so he can like rest and heal, but he got splashed with some cold water because he realized he couldn't do that. He had a commitment and had to stand by it. He had a bunch of complaints, rooting from things like missing home, feeling like a zoo animal, criticizing warped culture.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it was a lot. It was a lot.
And everyone's clear intention to just squeeze as much money as they can from these kids attending the festival.
I truly believe that Warped Tour stood for something, but, you know, they're just trying to make...
Yeah, because that's what they tell us. Like I said, being small town, broke, poor, going through it a lot, like, you really just go off of what everyone else around you tells you. And so it's almost like that Woodstock effect or like the Burning Man effect. Like, you don't really know what it's about until it's there.
as much money as they can.
We learn in this documentary that Chris absolutely hates the business side of music.
I try to stay as non-involved with the corporate aspect of music or the business.
Hold on, guys. All right, guys. All right. Sorry about that. If you're watching the video, let's go ahead and press play.
Aspect, making money and things
Basically, he didn't really realize what he was signing up for.
like that, you know, I could really care less about all that.
He just wants to play his music and spread his joy, positivity, peace, love, all that jazz, which is fair. If that's the part you like, that's completely fair. That's awesome. But the thing is, he came off as a man-child during this documentary. In his words,
And I hate to say it, but it's almost become like a job, you know what I mean?
Would you do the tour again next year?
No.
as bad as Chris looked in this movie, I think it's just a case of burnout. I think he was just tired of his environment, because keep in mind, he was consistently...
And I don't think he should have done that. I don't think that he should have let those people do that documentary. You want to know why? Because every artist feels this throughout a tour. And I think by them being in your face with the camera every day, or you know that they're going to be there every single time when you turn around, they knew that, like, it's just such a kind of a travesty because the dude really did have potential, but I really feel like it's like stuff like this and then life stuff that was going on with him that like really, like, it blows your mind how much everything's just kind of changes so quickly.
on the road, writing and recording music, just doing all this shit since he was 17. And Chris is someone that wears his emotions on his sleeve, so I am understanding of why he felt the way he.
And the side projects were his like kind of like escapes. Like they were like his way to be like different and do something like different and like cool. Like
He did. However, this mental state he was in really just fucked him over in the long term. But in the meantime, Chris really started to. 2011 was a strange time to be a Never Shout Never fan. For one, we got Time Travel, which was the first album released as a full band, and this record was definitely different. It's a psychedelic rock album that feels completely out of place. Because you gotta keep in mind, up to this point, he's just been releasing music about like, I love my girlfriend and she's out of my league and this girl has so much style, I love her style. So
dude, he totally missed any of the points of any of Christofer Drew's songs. It kind of like kills his whole thing when you like go listen to a Never Shout Never song. Like you just go do it. Like go literally listen to a Christofer Drew Never Shout Never song, and this guy's got it. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Some aspects, yes, he does nail it on the head on that. But in the other aspects, like, no, he doesn't. He has it completely wrong because, well, really, he's wrong because it's wrong. Because if you listen to any of the music, like I said, the music's actually like he talks about other stuff than just chicks and like this. Like, I don't know. Seems a little extra to me. And don't get me wrong, like I feel like he like separated so far from like his actual self. And don't get me wrong, when I seen the page like finally update after like what is it? It's been like 8-7 years. The page finally just updated like 3 months ago or something. And that's when Christofer Drew did like where he put the new profile picture up and he posted a bunch of stuff. So that's when I found out like that he had done all what he has now and all that stuff. So
when it comes to Time Travel, he completely strayed away from what he's known for. Don't get me wrong, the album does have bangers. Robot, Silver Ecstasy, Simplistic Trance-like Getaway, very cute songs, really nice songs.
Oh, so he did listen to it. Okay.
But by this point, I think Chris did a very clear message like, we're not writing music for 14-year-old girls anymore.
I honestly should back that up by saying like I liked the music after the fact. Like I liked Time Traveler after it was put out. Like it took a minute to digest it. Cause like when you listen to it on a first listen through and you have never heard the Time Traveler album, then yeah, you're gonna be like, what is this? Because it's like, and I think they kind of like took some inspiration from the music that was happening at the time. I mean, like just like every kind of artist, I feel like does. Because if you want that top hit, that banger, that pop hit, then essentially you find yourself in that position.
These songs were grand, super produced, experimental, strange. I don't know if you can relate, but when this album dropped, I didn't like it, but I kind of forced myself to. This is Christofer Drew.
Oh shit. Okay, so he like totally gets it then. Dude, imagine being from his hometown, like where everybody from here knows about Never. Well, I guess not the younger generation. A lot of them are just finding out about him, and it's honestly crazy putting out videos like this, like saying, "Oh, he's downfall and this and that." Dude, like, dude hasn't done shit in a long, long time. Like, I mean, and my thing is that if he got back in there and actually did it, like, dude, I feel like he would go ham mode. But like I said, the New Mexican or Mexico population loves his music. And I'm pretty sure they're the ones who have been like basically listening to it. I mean, besides us Joplin people, like he has a hella listens out there, and they love him. Like they pay him good to come out there, and so that's why I think he spent a long time doing that. To be honest.
New album. Of course it's good. This is the guy that I've been admiring for years at this point. In my mind, he does not write bad music. This is the year when he started Gonzo, adopting a more trippy.
Yep. And he's right. He's right about that. Like I said, we literally seen him live as Gonzo with his partner. And like I said, my brother was like a pretty big artist at the time here locally, and they were like checking him out, and that's why he got to play at the Ganesh Theater. Like his Christopher Drew Salmon, I was really tight with. It's actually pretty cool. But
Aesthetic, and started hanging out with his friend Lee Quinley, I think you say his name. And
yep, and we knew Friendly Quinley too. Like literally, my brother, he went as KNG, and like we literally hung out with Friendly Quinley for like most of the Red Rooster Festival thing. So
his entire brand is basically white hippie guy with dreads that uses a Spencer's Gifts aesthetic. And something we should take note of is Chris has always been.
And like I said, I don't know why he was like so dead set on this artist. Not saying that the guy wasn't good or nothing, but like it's almost like I think he only liked him because of his aesthetic, and he had music already done that sounded professional, and that's all you kind of needed, and then they could back you.
Very open about his lifestyle.
They like opened up their own record label headquarters. That shut down like within a year or two.
He's been smoking cigarettes since he was out of the womb. He's huge on pot, being vegetarian to a.
Jesus, dude. The American Spirits. He gave me an American Spirit. I smoked one of Christopher Drew's American Spirits, and honestly, his pot was super good. And he'll like I'm not trying to be facetious here when I say like he literally would let you put your hand into the bag and get weed out, or he would reach in himself and get a handful of weed and give it to you.
Eventually raw.
Cool ass dude, man.
Veganism. He would drop songs about religion from time to time and flex his spirituality.
This is it, man.
He even did this weird interview in 2013 where he just like he showed off his newly found cat lifestyle.
Lately I've been portraying the cat life, but the funny thing about the cat life is I'm actually a dog.
So what is the cat life? What does Christopher
It's like, dude, how much acid
do the cat do?
I take a lot of naps, and I sneak around.
There's no way he's just letting this chick pet him. So here, let me do this. I'm going to speed it up a little bit.
I like this cat.
Throughout his entire career, he's been open about everything, which includes drugs and more specifically LSD. And it's kind of funny because
I just literally said that. I think he was on an acid trip, like literally.
He blames acid as the main villain that sent his career down this.
And I believe it. I think that he started doing that. He started doing acid, and people gave him bad acid, fry you out.
June of 2012 was when the much anticipated Never Shout Never second interview came out with Brian Stars. Brian is now known as like one of the biggest scumbags to come out of the alternative music scene, but at the time he was completely adored. He was an interviewer in the alternative music space, and he stood out by asking ridiculous questions like,
if you guys were porn stars, what do you think your porn star name would be?
Before Never Shout Never went on that Warped Tour run, they actually did an interview with Brian, and the scene ate this shit up, man. They loved it. This was the duo that people could watch for literal hours as like the feel-good party energy bounced back.
Yeah, that's because us Joplin people are like that. We're like good times. We like peace. We like love. We like just have fun and stay chill with it. Like literally, why do you think that like literally we had Jesse James come here and he literally basically promised like a banker that he wouldn't rob the banks around here because he had a good night like drinking with the dude. That's like super sick. And then we had like the Bonnie and Clyde shit, and that shit was sick. And that was more, people from other places coming here and going ham. But because I'm pretty sure they killed 2 cops then. But totally different thing. Um, and then, like I said, we had Christopher Drew, and I think that's I think that's really it, man. I think that's it to come out of. Uh, I don't know why I attached those, but that's what I did in my head because, like I said, they were going on about how he's party kind of style, and that's really kind of
and forth between Brian and Chris. And because it was
that's how it is to be in youth around here. It's like we could go around literally anybody and make it a good time.
such a good interview and displayed both of the personalities' personality, the scene eagerly waited for a second interview, and one day we finally got it. But it wasn't what anyone could have expected. After driving 8 hours to Joplin, Missouri to meet the band, Brian
Told you guys.
sat with them, and literally 10 seconds in the interview, Chris made the entire thing tense and awkward.
Do you remember me?
Yeah, dude, I think I heard about you starting some rumors about us that we broke up.
Dude?
Yeah, I definitely saw that on the internet, man. Why are you doing that?
No, I was commenting on your alternative press magazine.
Yeah, well, we definitely didn't break up, man. I don't like false rumors being started about us, you know?
What is Chris talking about?
Fans can be overwhelming and that people call him an asshole or get really angry at him because he can't take a picture or sign an autograph. He goes on to say, I'd like to think I'm pure, but he says realistically Never Shout Never has become a product, and that it's gotten to the point where if it was reported if he was dead, it's actually him hiding in the mountains somewhere trying to get away from the pressure and all of the expectations that the label and that all of the
Yeah, dude, he literally, like I said, he just could not handle the fame he was getting.
fans put on him.
What you just heard was Brian Stars covering an interview that Chris did with Alternative Press, seemingly right after Warped Tour. So keep in mind, Chris was like probably burnt out during this interview. So what Brian did was just read out this interview and his thoughts. However, the title and thumbnail was clickbait, and I guess that's what the band didn't appreciate. Keep in mind, it says 2011 in the video title, but the
Yeah, and that's what I don't get why. I mean, dude, like, I said this in a video the other day, like, dude, if your music's good and it stands on its own, then it's gonna stand on its own. Like, I don't know. Like, there's just something about it's like Kid Cudi. Like, he put out such good music and then just disappeared. And then, like, there's so many artists like that who have done that where it's like they put out something that's like groundbreaking and then literally either fuck it up by dropping new stuff that sounds like trash or just disappearing and just doing appearances and stuff to make money.
interview wasn't actually done in 2011. Brian literally praised Chris in all he's done in this video. He was just informing his audience what the article read and his concern for Chris and his mental health. But Chris and the gang really didn't fuck with the clickbait.
You guys are porn stars. What do you think your porn star name would be?
Ransom.
Yeah, sure. Handsome Ransom.
Yeah, that's a DJ name.
What do you guys think of the whole Aeropostale?
We were in Indiana, Pennsylvania playing at a little college there, and this kid was coming up and talking to me, and he had an Aeropostale shirt on, and I told him how dumb it looked and how dumb it was, and then I made him take it off and give it to me, and I threw it in the top of a tree.
When are we going to start talking about music? Because that's what we're all about.
Like, such good shit, dude. And, yeah, like I said, my step cousin, I'm pretty sure I think that's who she knew.
Get there. We're just warming up.
Hold on, let me see.
This guy that's right here.
Let me take a look at a couple of these.
All right.
Nope.
Here, hold on. I got one for you. You guys still enjoy?
Well, we knew them through, can't think of her name. Well, we did know them.
Yeah, I love doing this. If you mean playing music, yeah, I love it. It's
doing interviews.
well, no, I love playing music.
What's your favorite song to perform live?
Mine?
Yeah.
I don't know. I like them all.
I gotta ask, because I drove 7 hours for this interview, but are you mad at me because of the Rest in Peace Never Shout Never video, or that one in particular?
Dude, I'm not mad at you, man. I just, I like people being real, and I like people,
I honestly...
It seems
Dude, that's what we thrive on, man. Be authentic to yourself. Don't be fake. Hey, that's why we got motherfuckers like Piss Air from here, dude. Like, and I wanted to address that too. Like, I did a bit where where basically I seen that they were live and stuff, and I pulled up on Piss Air and Cannell, and I basically like told Cannell that like I like that he was bringing attention to our town and stuff, but I guess the hype basically would die out. But it's kind of irritating that like I just feel like he could have done more to help Piss Air, and not only that, but like then made Joplin look like we just like piss in bottles and throw them everywhere, or like we're dirty people or something like that. And it's like, we're not though. Like, I mean, that's literally like people who are living below the poverty line, and then homeless people who are doing like most of the stuff around here. It's not like, I don't know, like I said, and even the crazier part is that even most of those people are pretty chill too.
Like,
so
you are trying to make a mockery of all the bands that you're interviewing, you know, and really we're, you know, especially whenever somebody's passionate and being
they really just need help, you know.
true to their art and true to their heart. I mean, making a mockery of that, dude, is...
Yeah, I really do think I'm gonna make some covers for you guys, dude.
It's really blasphemous.
I think that's like, how? What am I doing?
Or originals. I don't know. You guys will see.
I mean, just these questions are ridiculous, dude. We don't really want to talk about this type of things. We want to talk about our art and what we're doing. We're in the studio right now, and that's what we've been doing, you know? And that's what we want to talk about, is because this is a music interview, you know? And we are musicians.
To be fair, though, I have put my passion and my heart and soul and traveled all over the country and poured thousands of hours of my time into this. I've interviewed hundreds of bands, and every other artist I've had on the show loves being on the show. And the interview we did, your fans love. You should read the comments.
That was really great. No, I saw the interview, and I thought it was super amazing, but, you know, I just...
There's similar questions.
Yeah, but the thing is, you know, these guys don't appreciate questions that are bullshit, because these guys are real musicians. I don't know if you know that. And it seems like all the focus is on me, too, whenever there's a three-piece band, and I don't appreciate that because it's awkward for me.
Yeah, that is another fucked up part too.
I've asked him 2 questions and he hasn't given me an answer.
Well, because you've been weird about it, man.
If you give me a chance, I will do it, but I need... It's got to go both ways.
Hey, man, I've been real with you, dude, and that's all that you can ask for from me. And realness isn't always just happy-go-lucky questions or answers, you know? It's real shit, you know? And if you want to be a part of that real shit, you can, or you can, you know, keep being a joke.
Damn.
Don't get me wrong. If you want to confront someone for their actions,
fried him out.
I think it's completely fine. In fact, I encourage that. But the problem here is after the confrontation, that could have been before the 8-hour drive, by the way, Chris and the band were just acting extremely douchey throughout the rest of the interview. And to make matters...
Basically, they ruined the interview because they were pissed off about the last interview they had instead of having fun.
Worse. The reason why this interview even exists...
I wonder where they had the interview at.
...is because the New York Times approached Brian and were like, hey man, I just want to sit in for one of your interviews and I want to cover it. Chris and the guys not only knew that this was for the New York Times, but they also knew what kind of questions Brian would ask. Obviously, they worked with each other already. This interview resulted into the entire scene clowning on Chris, including other musicians.
There's one video interview in particular where somebody was being kind of lame, and I kind of called him out for that.
Fuck that Christofer Drew. When I saw that, dude, I wanted to punch him and I wanted to fucking grab you and fucking make out with your dick, dude.
He knew he had to tweet something. Chris, he can't just let the scene chew him
damn
out. So after some long thought and effort, the much anticipated apology tweet read this.
I was on acid. I'm so sorry for the way I treated you at Brian Stars. It all came out wrong.
Good going, Chris. Good going. If this went down today, I think people would have forgotten.
It's almost like I'm going to blame it on something that I'm doing. So it's like if you had like a wife at home and you got drunk and you slept with somebody else, but then you come home and you're like, well, I didn't do anything wrong. I was drunk. I didn't do anything wrong. Why would I do anything wrong? I was drunk. Same kind of concept.
About it in a couple of days because
I was on acid, so I was allowed to be a dick.
Bands get canceled pretty much weekly by this point, and for way worse things. But because this happened back in 2012, before cancel culture was a really big thing, it felt like this incident was a huge impact on Chris and his career, and it kind of was. After it came out, it felt like something within the scene kind of shifted. Chris went from being someone that was completely adored and damn near controversy-free to now the villain of the scene. Because remember, he's the guy that preaches love and peace and be nice, everyone, be nice. Even the biggest fans of Chris turned on him, and you can see it in his numbers. A few months after the interview, Never Shout Never released a brand new album titled Indigo. And comparatively to his last record,
no, Indigo was trash.
Indigo flopped. I don't think it was solely because of the interview, by the way. It definitely played a huge...
No, it's not because of the interview. It's because that's when they started doing like the massive change to where they so they had the Time Traveler album, then they had the Indigo album, right? And Time Traveler was the catalyst to them trying to basically change their whole sound to be this new thing, when no one, like I said, they kind of lost people at Time Traveler, and then they super lost people with Indigo.
But the second big reason why this album flopped, in my...
But dude, it still doesn't matter, because every artist ever has at least made... No artist has ever made every single track and been like, wow, that shit's hot sauce, that's fire.
Opinion is because time travel was too weird of a genre shift. The audience knew Chris was over his cutesy phase and started making music that he wanted to make, which is fine, but
it's just not. And it's not. I don't feel like it was music he wanted to make. I think it was Universal owned him and was like, dude, you need to put out music. And I think honestly he might have done it on purpose to like try and make his catalog flop so then he could get off the record deal basically with. But then that's another thing too is like I'm pretty sure he was like third party, so I don't even know if I just don't know.
If you stray too far from the music you're known for, you can't really expect your audience to stick around. I don't like the music, I don't like Chris, why am I sticking around? And Never Shout Never.
Yeah, and times were just changing. He didn't, like I said, and they didn't stick with putting out a bunch of new music. If they would have dropped a like EP, album, EP, and stuck with what they did originally.
They're not dumb. They knew they had to do something about their project bleeding out. So they started.
Not too long ago, the No Room for Rockstars documentary came out, and I feel like after watching that, I really didn't think you guys were going to come back on Warped Tour. You didn't seem to have a very good time. So what brought you back?
I felt horrible with the way that the last tour ended and how everything felt so negative, and I just wanted to make amends, come back and make it okay and show that we can be, that we can survive a Warped Tour and not be a bunch of pansies about it.
To everyone's surprise, the band decided to get on the 2013
2013, huh?
Van's Warped Tour. Not only this, but they released a brand new album only 7 months after Indigo, and it was called Sunflower. I'm gonna be honest, I had no idea this album existed until like 2015.
Sunflower was actually good, and I knew it existed immediately. There's a song on there like something about school bus or let me see here. School bus. I'm not gonna play it for copyright reasons, but hold on. Never. Yeah, Coffee and Cigarettes is a really good one too. Hold on here. So let me do this. Let me see here. I'm trying to go quick. Let me find it. Wild Child's a good one. Time Traveler's Blues, is this it? Of course, every time. Hold on here. Maybe it's. Well, I'm not seeing it. Maybe it's. It's New Sound is what it's called. This one. This song right here. Well, I can just say it to you guys. It's New Sound. And dude, that song was fire. And we listened to the whole album when it first dropped. Like I said though, I am from Joplin. Like I think when you finally get when you have an artist or artists that are big from your town, I mean, I think it's just normal to follow them.
I don't know if it was a lack of promotion, interest, or the band just fell off my radar, but after listening to it, it sounds like Chris just went back to form with the whole me and my guitar, cute, lo-fi recorded music thing. There was no big production, no epic strings, no...
But that's good. I wanted it back original. If you know anything, like, I think that that's what made that album smack the hardest, is that it literally, like, it just people don't understand, man. If you fucking get the vibe, you get the vibe, dude. And they just, like, some people just don't know how to rock, man.
experimentation, which
It's so sad to see.
isn't really a bad thing. In fact, I think this is the route they should have gone a long time ago. Putting on my tinfoil hat here, I feel like the intentions of this release was to try to recultivate whatever audience they have remaining. And hopping on Warped Tour was their way of directly letting their market know, hey guys, we're back to cute, catchy songs, but in this more mature fashion. But unfortunately, it seems like the crowd officially became uninterested. Sunflower was the first record that didn't place on Billboard 200. The Fangirl uploads started...
We still listen to Never Shot Never from here. Here at least we do. We don't give a shit what he looks like. We got a bunch of people from here that have face tats and got crazy shit going on. That's just a part of real life, man. Sometimes you deal with shit where you're like, holy cow. Hold up here. Yeah, they got Trouble, Big City Dreams, Can't Stand It, Cheater, Best Friend Eater, On the Bright Side, Coffee and Cigarettes. So, dude.
Slowing down. The band's name just weren't in people's mouths anymore. The flop of Sunflower really showed that music just isn't enough to reclaim those heights that the band used to have. It was star power, the one thing the band was missing since the controversy. Now, from the outside, it seems like the band silently...
I'm not gonna lie, I feel like we lost him because, I'm not gonna lie, he really did kind of have like an essence of someone who was kind of a little bit like rude or like kind of dickheadish. And I think that's just from blowing up so quick and not really wanting the fame, and then realizing that, like, oh shit, I'm locked in, I already did this. So like, there's no other way about it other than like you're just stuck to whatever happened. And so he's just a product of the machine failing him when, and like I said, if they were, they were mean. They were mean and rude, and I think that's why they lost a lot of people around here, because if you're going to be a douchebag, well, then we don't want to listen to your music. I mean, that's just logically speaking. I don't feel that way. Like I said, I still listen to Never Shot Never. I still fuck with Christofer Drew. I still, like, I mean, when they were doing their label stuff, like, we literally were handing out stickers for them. We were handing out, like, flyers. We were doing all sorts of stuff to try and get it popping again. Like I said, when they opened up the Ganesh Theater, it was through his label, and like, dude, it flopped because around here people don't understand it, and they didn't bring any big artists. They were just doing like local people, and you can't do that and then not be on like the main strip. He did it, that the building that they did it in was on 7th, and it doesn't work.
Lee broke up or went on hiatus, as 2014 was the first year in the band's history where we heard absolutely nothing. But little did we know, Chris and the boys actually reached out for help. The help they could have used since 2011. We had no idea at the time, but the band was planning a massive... The band has been signed to Warner Sire Reprise since 2009, but I guess Chris is...
I told you guys, dude, when they seen his YouTube shit, it's like Justin Bieber, but like Justin Bieber got way bigger and Bieber kind of looks the same way. Definitely messed up there, you know?
Ego or hate for a corporation got in the way of really using the label to their advantage. But in comes 2015, a massive year for the band, as it felt like they had a plan to be seen as the good guys again, to reclaim that star power. 2013, it felt like Chris was just uninterested and careless about the band's future. But in 2015, we finally see effort again. They announced they'd hop on Warped Tour for a third time in this weird announcement.
Yo, what's crack-a-lackin' party peeps? Chris here. Just wanted to let you know that we are going to be on main stage Warped Tour all summer long. Never Shall Never's back in action, and we love you, and I miss you. I love you, and I miss you. Goodbye.
Like I said, you get shit like this from him where you're like, it's almost like mixed signals, because, like I said, dude, if he would have stuck with us, we have 60,000 people in our town. If you had even 1/3 of that listening, he would, I mean, just from his hometown, could have, good numbers. not including Springfield's like right here, not including like Kansas City's. Well, it's like 3 hours away, but still, like it's it's all the same thing, you know.
And around the time Warp took off, the band released music from their upcoming album, Black Cat.
Dude, I really wish I could have went to a Warped Tour.
This is the first time it felt like we got an actual well-produced evolution of the Never Shout Never people fell in love with. Sunflower was okay, but I'd imagined a lo-fi quality and the bare bone writing would just like have a lot of people kind of wave that album off. But Black Cat was pretty hard to ignore. The fans who dropped the band after Time Travel or the Brian Stars era probably forgot they existed, but because the band used their label's marketing, this felt like an official comeback for them, as a lot of old fans and new started giving the band their attention, charting 52 on Billboard 200, dropping high-quality music and videos, using the Black Cat mascot as a part of the album's promotion. The band was getting pushed,
dude, and this shit was sick.
Heavy, and it completely worked, but there's still some loose ends that need to be tied.
It's Brian, and today I'm here with a very special guest.
I imagine I probably smoked a cigarette there.
Christofer Drew.
Hello.
I realized today we're actually like the same age.
24? Oh, I'm 24 next month, so.
Yeah, I'm 24. May 22nd.
Oh, okay, great.
We're pretty much the same age. So, pretty much, yeah.
You know, May 22nd is when my baby sister died, and I'm born May 11th. My brother's born May, I think, 25th. But that's cool.
You're a little younger. I'm like your big brother.
Big bro. Big bro Brian.
It's like, yeah. Obviously, a lot of people watched an interview that we did a couple years ago. I guess maybe we should talk about that a little bit.
Just to kind of explain what happened is I was having a really crazy tour where I was just, a lot of bad habits had kind of taken over my life a little bit at the time, and you kind of just caught me on a really stressful day. It was a home show for me, and my family had come out, and, you know, I'd taken something.
Yeah, dude. His home shows were so sick.
That made me a little cuckoo for...
Like, the vibe at a home show for Never Shout Never is so sick. Like I said, they did it at Schifferdecker Park, and they had like a bunch of big names come, not just Christofer, or not just Never Shout Never, but dude, I'm telling you, literally they had like 3 blocks worth of people there, like literally spilled out into the backside of the park on the road. Dude, it was crazy.
Cocoa Puffs, and I was having a really stressful day, and he just caught me at a really bad moment in my life, you know, where I was feeling a little overwhelmed, and pretty much what happened was I was being very selfish, and I wasn't seeing the world from anybody else's perspective.
And see, this is why I like Christofer Drew.
But mine, I was trying to be fucking...
Because he's real. He's real to himself. Hey, if I was having a bad day that day, I can admit that I was having a bad day. Let's move.
Bob Dylan. And
move
maybe I
on
still
from
try
it, you know?
But I was trying to be him in his crazy rock star phase where he was just giving every interviewer a really hard time for a while.
While this third interview was forced and awkward and cringe, it was enough for people to leave everything.
Yeah, I really do truly think that, I mean, just from watching that right there, like, it seems almost like he did it out of pure, like, okay, well, I have to do it. You know what I'm saying? And so, well, not that he has to do it, but that if I want to save my career right now, this is my best option. Get on here, apologize, admit that I'm wrong. Let's, like I said, move forward. Hold on here.
In the past. This was a fresh start for Chris, and the scene seemingly accepted him back with open arms. While it is impossible to recreate the magic what Chris did back in 09, at least the band has a career again. It was an exciting moment for Chris and Never Shout Never, and the moment...
Yeah, dude. That's why everyone liked the anchors and shit on his hands. That was like a big, like, cool
momentum
thing.
Carried out for the next 2 years, as they did the Black Cat Tour, Throwback Tour, Warped Tour 2017 for a handful of dates. Things were going amazing, so it felt really weird when, out of nowhere, we got nothing but... What happened?
I told you guys. I told you. Dude, like I said, this pissed everyone off in our town. Everyone knows that his brother had, like, special needs or, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and we love everybody from that community or anybody like that, you know? But, dude, what this cops did was fucking fucked up.
This is the part of the story when things get pretty dark.
After the shows in Brazil, Mexico next month,
I told you guys, Mexico. I'm telling you, they love him there.
Never will be done. Thank you all. It was truly a magical journey that me and everyone involved will never forget.
This was unexpected.
Yeah, and it's because his brother passed away.
But
so sad. If this video gets to Christofer Drew, or you know, you end up watching it or whatever, you know, my heart goes out to you, man. And just know that Joplin people really do care about Never Shout Never. We do care about Christofer Drew. We do care about your mental health, your physical health. We do care about you. You, like I said, you're from our city, so we'll always, you know, dub and love. So
surprising, as the band bounced back and forth between low-key and not. So we all just figured, whatever, it's okay, they'll be back. But all we got was an EP late 2018 that Chris decided to soft drop, to then take down. Here we start to see a pattern he likes to do. Drop music under Never Shout Never or his own name via Dropbox or YouTube links, then unlist the music after some time. Now, there was a lot of life-changing moments for Chris in the band, but 2019 is arguably the most eventful. Having, I'd imagine, the most beautiful moment of Chris's life to then get followed up by the darkest. This is the year we get a huge announcement, but rather than an album, single, a tour, we get the announcement of his first child, Lion. The band has been put down at this point, but it seemed like the timing was perfect in order for Chris to become a great father. He looks healthy, he should be fine.
Yeah, like stay out of the light and just
financially stable, and he can just put out music on his own time. And as fans, we already know Chris is a family man. He dropped 15, which is a song about his young.
We all are, or I should say, most of us are family people. We love our families. We stand with our families. We got our families. We'll help our families.
Your sister growing up, and that being a tough pill to swallow. He dropped What Is Love, one of his most popular songs, is influenced by a divorce his parents are going through. He talks about family.
Yeah, that's what the anchor's on his hands. That's what I was about
during his interviews, even stating at some point that he's paying his little sister's tuition. This man adores his parents and his siblings, and now he can focus on his own family. But
it's nice to, if you know, to ever take off and have the money to take care of your family. You know, if you know that if you ever go, that they're always taken care of. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Before he can healthily do so, there's an unexpected obstacle that came across his way.
Putting crime in focus now, a Joplin man is dead after an officer-involved shooting last night. Police say they were called to a location regarding a person yelling, screaming, and possibly on drugs, so they tased him. That man is identified as David Engel. The taser didn't work, and Engel charged at another officer. They fired at Engel, hitting him.
In August of 2019, his older brother David Engel was unfortunately shot and killed by Joplin police. David Engel,
yeah, dude, and this shit was fucked up.
31-year-old man.
Gentle giant. If you see that on my screen right now, right here, dude, like I said, I feel like this, like, cause they made him sound like he was a threat. He literally was not a threat. Like I said.
Described by family as a gentle giant, struggling with mental illness, was shot and killed by a Joplin police officer. His sister Sarah Engel began working with the city recently in an effort to see that her brother's death gains meaning and accomplishes some good. David was suffering.
It was fucked up, and that they should have done something about it. They should have.
A schizophrenic episode the night of August 13th, 2019.
And he shouldn't have been shot, though. He should have been taken to the Stevens unit. So get out of my face with this shit. At the time, we had the Stevens unit, which is like a psychiatric unit that was attached to the hospital. And dude, ever since we got rid of that, like, it's even gotten worse here in Joplin. But
Meter, who later told Missouri State investigators that he thought David was high on the drug Flocka and that he posed a lethal threat to Meter and second officer at the scene. She began researching the problem and discovered that half of fatal encounters with law enforcement involve people with a mental illness. Sarah made it her mission to ensure that the police force have the proper training and protocol to have cases like David's happen way less frequently. She doesn't want her brother to die in vain. If he's getting taken away, she at least wants his life to make some sort of difference in not just Joplin, but the world. As time went on, things became more strange in the world of Chris. There was a lot of silence, but he did return to Instagram in 2020 to promote a Never Shout Never album. The album Unborn Spark was written by exclusively Chris.
Yeah, and this was, I'm not gonna lie, this was good, but it wasn't the best that we've got out of Christofer Drew, you know?
When you listen to the album, it feels like Chris is kind of just processing his life from the past decade and just really realizing his positioning in the world. A year later, after this release, things take another turn. Allegations came out from his now ex-girlfriend and mother of his child, Sapphire. The allegations are now deleted, so I'm not going to read them, especially because I found them through someone else, so I can't even confirm that this is exactly what Sapphire said. But what we can confirm is his family life is unfortunately crumbling. It is worth mentioning that Sapphire and Chris did make up at some point, even if it wasn't permanent. Here's someone else's video showing proof of this, as Sapphire's Twitter is now deleted.
He had a son with his then partner, Annalicia, who he met at a meet and greet when she was 17. Fast forward to 2021, the two of them split and he reportedly wasn't present in her life or his son's life. With that said, that seems like it's no longer the case, considering Annalicia's recent tweets. However, they do remain separated.
I love being single, seriously. It feels so good to be pouring all my love and energy into myself and my little one. That's actually a really good
We do have a
thing.
2025 update that we'll get to in a second.
And I'm pretty sure Christopher Drew's all, like I said, he's not just going to not take care of his family or be there for his kids. It's just like one of those things like when you know, you know, you know.
It's pretty sad. But right now, we have to touch on the concerned fans that stuck around. 2022, Chris adopted the name Shen Chao. And for the first time in a while, Chris started uploading pictures of himself that looked like this.
Chen Chao. Yeah, we don't know why he did the face tats.
On top of this, he would reply to
And I don't know why he shaved his head. And I don't know why he did the
fans
beard.
pretty often through Twitter, but his responses to the comments made absolutely no sense at all. Here's Wo Laddie talking about it as they have the photos of Chris's account from this time, because all of this is now deleted, and Wo shows us some of the replies and tweets.
As you can see, it's like every day he is tweeting. He's been replying to a lot of comments, but what I found when I was looking at some of his comments and some of his replies, they were very weird. He was really ominously replying to people in ways that didn't make sense. Like someone said, "When did you get the face tats?" He replied, "No."
Fans blamed drugs for Chris's behavior, especially because, like I said earlier, he's always been open.
Yeah, I really do think too. I think it might have been, it's probably at the acid. That's just me being honest. Just there's no other way
about his use
around
of them,
it.
but it never seemed like a problem until
Sometimes
this Shen Chao era.
Sometimes it fries people, man.
I can't confirm
But I don't really think he's fried. That's
it's
just
drugs or
just me being honest.
Alcohol. I know alcohol is considered a drug, but I digress. But him stating this in 2024 leads me to believe that it was an alcohol addiction in combination of having a severe mental breakdown, as he admitted to here. Where's Chris now? How's his family, and wasn't he supposed to play a festival this year? From 2022 to today, Chris's socials consist of schizo posting, images of his current and past self, seemingly reminiscing of his prime. And if you read his tweets, people have a right to still be concerned for the guy. There was a point where he just consistently brought up his weight. There was a point when he just kept reminding.
But he's not. That's like a wild thing to be even talking about or thinking about.
Us Never Shout Never is not coming back. And in recent months, he's been trying to convince us that he's a vampire. And I would think he's just trying to be quirky, but given his past as a cat, it's just more concerning than anything. His Twitter is a pretty nutty read as he just converses with himself since replies are off. And reading some of this shit makes me feel like I'm not supposed to be. But with his clear message of never returning to music, it came by surprise October of 2024, when We Were Young Fest announced their lineup and none other than Never Shout Never was on the bill. At the time of this announcement, I went through his socials to see if he mentioned anything about this, and he didn't, as if he didn't even know he was on the lineup at all. But unfortunately, he let a lot of fans down a few weeks ago when he announced he's going to cancel his When We Were Young Fest appearance because he states he needs severe dental work. As for his family, I wish I had a better ending for you. Sapphire posted a link to her GoFundMe over the summer, and I'll summarize the GoFundMe, but you can pause and read it now if you'd like. Sapphire.
This was her way of punishing him. The moment he saw me, he wept and ran to me, telling me what had happened. I couldn't put him through that again. So I dropped out. I gave up school and I stayed home to care for him full time, no matter how hard it got. Now I'm ready to rebuild, not just for me, but for us. My dream is to go back to school and finally finish my degree. I can teach art, a career path where I can make a living doing what I love and creating a safe, consistent life for my son and me. I've also applied for housing so that we can live together one day.
Is asking for financial help after a sudden eviction and losing child support when Chris suddenly disappeared and cut off contact with everyone. She temporarily sent Lion to his grandparents' house for stability while she tries to rebuild, find housing, and return to school. This isn't her first GoFundMe, and Chris's fans harass her for the last one, but she states that she's asking again because her goal is to provide a safe, stable.
Every dollar helps the next step. Clearing the eviction, finding steady work, reuniting my son in a stable, loving home. If you read this far, thank you. I've already shared. If you're able to share and donate, I can't express how much it means to me. If you're unable to donate, share this GoFundMe with others would mean the world.
Stable life for her child. She didn't say this, but basically, fuck what people think or say, and I agree. So I went back to the GoFundMe to gather some screenshots, and I'm unsure how I didn't notice this, but she closed the GoFundMe, and the reason being is Chris came out of nowhere and just sent her a large sum of money, and this kind of like pissed her off because it's like, bro.
Damn. So basically, she put it out. People pulled the stuff, And then basically, yeah, just yesterday morning, after months of silence and abandonment, my son's father sent a large sum of money out of nowhere. This is after we have already lost our home, after I'd been hospitalized while being evicted, after my son had to start a new life with his grandparents, after I'd moved in with a roommate, taken a demanding new job, and poured every bit of myself into survival. The damage has already been done, and I'm still recovering. Receiving that payment didn't fill me with it. Fill or didn't fill me with relief. It filled me with rage.
Oh, how do you dip? Don't hear anything from you for months, and then I don't know where I get bread. After I started to GoFundMe, after
At first, I couldn't process what I was seeing. My ears dulled, my blood ran cold. I forced myself to keep walking as I left the office of a new job, jaw slack, tears swelling in my eyes. Then, after an initial shock, anger hit. My teeth grit, my breath picked up pace, my hands shook as my heart began to pump, and I was gripping my phone so hard I wonder why it wouldn't break. I scrambled.
I asked for help, and all the damage has been done, right? Like I'm already evicted.
So basically, she's mad because, um, well, because she has good reason. He like just up and dipped, which he's probably, if I'm gonna be honest, he probably went on like either a hiatus or he was going to try and make some money. I mean, as he sent her a large sum of
Lion
money.
already started his new life with his grandparents, and I'm trying to adjust to this new lifestyle with you gone, and out of nowhere, here's some bread. You can pause and read the whole thing for yourself, because she does touch on a lot more. Like one little paragraph that stuck out to me was, there's no way to undo the damage. I can't unlive the trauma. I can't suddenly return to a life that doesn't exist anymore. The only thing the sudden payment does is allow me to catch up on my car payments, give my roommate rent and bills, and begin clearing the eviction balance. Nothing more. There's no promise of anything more tomorrow. I encourage you to read the whole thing, but that is the summary of it. I really hope I'm wrong, but in this moment of time, it feels like Chris isn't really doing his part as a father. He's focusing on his career as a model, an artist, and
That's what I was thinking, if I'm going to be honest. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think he is there for his kid more than what this guy's, saying. But I also do think that he's probably, I mean, you can't, if you set stagnant and you're just spending all your money, you'll never ever have money and you're going to be broke. But if you're always consistently moving, making money, and then, I mean, it is crazy that he went months without talking to the kid. That is wild to me. But I mean, I don't know. I think the guy is kind of heartbroken. I mean, if you're basically your best friend, your brother was shot, wouldn't you? You would be pretty upset too. And I think that's another reason why he kind of doesn't like Joplin. But I mean, it's not our fault, That's the cops, dude. And like I said, we love him. We love Christofer Drew. We love Never Shout Never. We always have. We'll always listen to him. And no matter how many of these falling off, you're a loser videos they try to put up about him, like, I mean, if you know, and he's a good guy. Like,
vampire, I guess. His downfall was caused by a number of things: ego, drugs, and or alcohol, burnout, mental breakdowns, dark life moments. And it's sad to see someone who's on top of the music scene and loved by many to now a mysterious person of the past. And if there's any takeaway from this story, it's hold the ones you love close, try your best to stay away from bad habits, and take care.
And I think he should have stopped right there when he had the 2 tattoos like this. He should have just stopped.
Of your mental health. It's okay to take a day off once in a while. I wish Chris, his family, Sapphire, and Lion the best moving forward. I have a second and third channel that's all stream related content. Link in descriptions to check it out.
All right, guys. Well, I think we're ending near to the end of the video, right? Where is this freaking whippersnapper? Oh, there it is. Okay. So subscribe to Vizzy. Like, give it a view. This was just put out 2 weeks ago. There's Vizzy Plus and Vizzy VODs. Real good video, man. I think some of the times he's a little bit off, but I think that you're gonna have a bias when you're trying to make a video like this because if you make something to talk about, well, then it'll give you something to talk about. You get what I'm saying? So like, both those make it to where he's like Gucci Man, and it's not like he talked trash. I mean, he literally said he was a fan for the longest. Like I said, I think that he should have just stuck to his roots. But I appreciate you guys for watching, and I hope you guys have a good night, and hope that everything's going all right for y'all. Peace. Hey, how about this? Say Willy P in the comments if you watched this far. Thank you. Please subscribe. Please like. Willy P 417. TikTok, YouTube. 1 Willy P 417 for my Twitch. And that's it, boys. We out.